Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for joining me this week. So this week I'm exploring Manus AI again, a free tool which has a subscription option as well. But I'm going to use Manus to create a website. So if you're interested in taking a look and a little exploration with me, then please keep on watching. Okay, so Manus is one of those really versatile tools with a free version. And I actually ran out of credits today because I was working with it so much, creating a website. But I just wanted to show you what I created. And it's so versatile because you can do so many things just on this one platform. It's classified as more of an agent, so it can actually do searches and put together papers independently, but I can actually upload PDFs and create infographics. I can create a PowerPoint presentation and give it some color and design and branding advice. What I thought I'd share today is, if we just have a look over here, this was actually my prompt that I got from Claude 3.7. So I wanted to show how we could build a really interactive website that served as a unit of inquiry, that had metacognition prompts, and that also addressed one of the UN SDGs. So this is the prompt that Claude came up with: create an interactive educational website for an IB unit on designing sustainable cities aligned with UN SDG 11. So when I asked Claude to give me a prompt, they actually specifically chose SDG 11 and chose this unit title. The site should foster inquiry-based learning, conceptual understanding, metacognition, and cross-disciplinary collaboration. And that was one of my instructions as well. So we've got core requirements, and you can see this prompt is pretty comprehensive because, as we know, your output is only as good as the input and the communication that you give any AI tool. So core requirements: responsive design with intuitive navigation, interactive drop-down menus for content areas, collaborative spaces for student interaction. So I didn't want it to be an individualized or personalized website. I wanted there to be a lot of collaboration and discussion and integrated metacognitive prompts throughout. So here I've got the home page is an engaging introduction to sustainable cities, interactive navigation showing interdisciplinary connections, and then there's a student dashboard tracking progress and collaboration. And then there's some main sections here, which all with a drop-down menu as part of the instruction. We want to inquire, so thought-provoking questions about urban sustainability, interactive case studies comparing cities, data visualization tools for urban planning exploration, and also metacognitive prompts. What assumptions are you bringing to this topic at the very beginning? Collaborative board for student questions. And then the disciplinary lenses. I think it's important that students understand how different subject areas or discipline areas actually can be combined to solve lots of different problems. So we've got mathematics, we've got geometry and urban planning, statistical analysis of resource distribution, transportation system modeling, interactive carbon footprint calculators, and also collaborative problem solving with real data. And then I'll just scroll down so you can see the science, right? Environmental impact, sustainable energy, materials for green construction, interactive ecological simulations, and collaborative environmental research space. And then, of course, we've got language arts, right? So urban planning, document analysis, persuasive writing. So I won't go through all of these, but what great suggestions for an interdisciplinary unit. And then I actually put that I wanted visual arts as well. So we have architectural design principles, visual communication for urban planning, a digital design sketchbook, etc. And then we have another sections just calling collaborate, which looks at the management of group projects, shared digital workspaces with commenting, peer feedback templates, group progress tracking, video conferencing integration. Now, this is not the perfect prompt because, as we know, when we're trying to communicate and when we're using AI tools as a thinking partner, it's an iterative process and it's an ongoing conversation. So we have reflect here. I wanted digital learning journals with prompts such as, how is your understanding evolved? What cross-disciplinary connections are you making? Which learning strategies work best for you here? And how might different stakeholders view your solutions? And then I had self-assessment tools aligned with IB criteria, interactive concept mapping, and personal learning goal. So I will copy and paste this prompt in the comment section below in case you want to take a look at it. But I think it's important that, you adapt your prompts too. So I did adapt to this prompt. I wanted a particular visual design, some technical features as well. And then I said, ensure proper functionality of all interactive elements, especially drop downs, collaboration tools, and metacognitive prompts. And this probably took about a good 25 minutes to work through this prompt. So I'll just move myself over here so you can see. Thank you for providing this. This is what Manus has said. And then Manus has talked about how I've analyzed the requirements. Okay. And there were quite a few steps in here. So I just want to show you the first iteration. So this is about 20, 25 minutes. And I got to the stage where, so let me just come down. Great progress. I've successfully implemented the inquire and disciplinary lenses. So that was just the first section. Now I'm moving on to phase 4, which is the interactive functionality and ensures all elements work seamlessly together. Now, I did have a problem with the first iteration, you'll see. So let's have a look. The key features are delivered, design features ready to use, deliverables. So it gave me all these folders, and I just wanted a URL, a temporary URL, just for me to be able to view this. So I just said, how do I temporarily view this on a website? So then it gave me a temporary link. And then I had a look at this, and then I still couldn't see the temporary link. So I had to actually, ask it again. And then it gave me another link. And then what happened? Okay. So I then eventually managed to get a link, but all of the drop-down menus were not working. So let me just scroll down so you can see I actually could not see the URL. And it was giving me instructions how to do it. So finally I came up with this URL. Okay. And then I said, okay, when I click on any of the buttons on the website, they don't work. So I don't see the case studies or the data visualization. I don't see the learning journals and self-assessment. In fact, none of the buttons work when I press on the website. Can you fix this? So Manus really tried to code and fix a lot of these factors that it said it was going to put in. So, for example, it says that we were going to put in interactive case studies with real data visualization tools, learning journals and self-assessment, collaborative question boards, progress tracking, sustainable color scheme. I had dark green and burgundy. And so let's just have a look, okay, because I actually ran out of credits. I used up all my free credits doing this. Normally, I don't have a problem with the credits and the amount when I do little searches and create documents and PowerPoints, but this was such a big task. So let's go on and have a look at the other tab. Okay, so this is the IB unit of inquiry called Designing Sustainable Cities. And they've, followed my color palette, kind of, and you can see this interdisciplinary learning pathways, inquire, reflect, disciplinary lenses, action, and collaborate. And if we say start your journey, we go into some interactive case studies in Singapore, Copenhagen, and Curipod. So if I explore detail analysis, okay, that is not all of these buttons are working. I can see great ideas of how I can edit and change this. And then there's a metacognitive reflection. What assumptions are you bringing to this topic? Take a moment to reflect on your current understanding of sustainable cities before diving deeper. So let's just go back. Disciplinary lenses. Let's have a look at that. So let's have a look at the subject areas. We have mathematics, science, language arts, and visual arts. And let's see if this works. Explore data sets. No, that's not working. Running the planning simulation. No, that's not working. But, we can always edit this, right? This is a first attempt. Let's go back here. Collaborate. Explore the collaborate area. So this is where students can give feedback. I mean, this is a nice start. It's not perfect, but it's a nice start. Okay. Let's see if I can view the collaboration activities. Nope, that doesn't work. So I did have to go through a few iterations and I ran out of credits, but I am kind of thinking, shall I subscribe to Manus? Because it seems to be this one-stop shop platform for everything. Instead of going to Notebook LM and, uploading all of my documents, instead of going to Poe and then choosing which model to use, Manus seems to take care of everything. It can actually analyze Excel sheets as well. So let me just see. Okay, so I've been here before. So we've got these little tabs up here as well as down here. Explore UN SCG. So that one's not working. But, this is a start, right? It's like an interactive educational platform designed to support IB learning through inquiry-based exploration of sustainable urban development. So I thought that was a lovely start. Okay, so that was using Manus to create a website. And of course, it has to be an iterative process. So I ran out of credits, and I think tomorrow I'm going to have another go at this with new credits. And I'm also actually thinking of subscribing. I try not to subscribe to too many tools, but this seems to be very compelling for me to subscribe to. This is a really attractive tool for me because it seems to be like a one-stop shop. If you've tried Manus and you've built a website, please share with the comment section below. I was going through some initial teething problems, but to be honest, when I did the same thing on Claude 3.7, I had to go through many, many iterations too. So I think that we just have to accept that because of human in the loop, we've got to constantly critically evaluate the output and just keep modifying and improving it through an ongoing conversation with the AI model. Thank you so much for joining me this week, and I hope to see you next time.